I used to use the canteen regularly, like every day, but this year, since the beginning of September, I've probably only used it half a dozen times. I used to use the canteen regularly, just purely and simply because I was disorganised in terms of getting food together to bring into college. But I kind of started to add up how much money I was spending on the food in the canteen and like how much pleasure I was getting from the food in the canteen, and I kind of worked out that perhaps for very little money I could just make a little bit more food the night before and bring food in myself, which would save me money. And I think ultimately it was the time factor as well. It was just taking too long to get food from the canteen, whereas if I had it myself I'd just be able to eat it straight away when I needed it.
How do you like your...
I always took the food away. I always used to ask for a plate, a knife and a fork, a proper plate, so not a tray, and I would take it to the staff room, and we have our own little dining area in the staff room, so staff would sort of sit around and eat in the staff room together.
Eggs in the morning.
I like mine with a kiss.
I'm very aware that in the canteen that there is always a vegetarian dish and there's always a meat-based dish. Other than those two main course dishes, I'm not sure what vegetarian food is available. I know that you can get a baked potato, beans, cheese. I mean, I know there's a sort of side salad that you can get as well.
I'm satisfied.
That's a tricky one because, I mean, to be honest, it's cheap. It's cheaper than going up the road to, say, Subway, or there's a cafe on the high street called Brown's, and it's cheaper than that. On the other hand, the food is definitely not as good as as Brown's up the road, and it does come down to how much money it's worth spending for food that you do or don't like.
As long as I get my kiss.
I think that the remodelling of the canteen is great. I think it looks really nice. I think it's important to create a nice environment that students respect, because I think people will be tidier and it's a friendly environment if it's laid out well. So I think it's well laid out. It's probably not big enough for the number of students we have, but it's difficult because we're a one campus site and we don't really have very much space.
How do you like your toast?
I know a couple of staff very well, and I've always found them to be lovely. So, I mean, Heather, who has worked there for a number of years, is a really helpful person. I don't know the new manager of the canteen, so I can't really comment on him. The manager last year, the woman that sort of started at the beginning of last year, I mean, she was very friendly and amiable, but then she disappeared halfway through the year. And a couple of the other staff that have been regulars there, I mean, I've thought were nice people. Though I can tell that on occasions they find it difficult to deal with young people. So whether that makes an impact on how they behave, I don't know.
In the morning.
I like mine with a hug.
I need to change the canteen. I mean, I really think that, we tried in-house last year and we've gone back to commercial this year. I really think our canteen should be in-house. I think that a way to make a better canteen would be to develop some kind of course around catering. I did work in a college prior to coming here where they had a catering course, and the standard of food in the canteen there was amazing and the prices were pretty much the same. If you've got students making the food, in other words not being paid, then you have the opportunity to make a really good meal for £2, £2.50. So I think if we were developing a catering course and have an in-house kind of structure, sourcing good quality ingredients, I think that's the way to go. Unfortunately, we seem to have gone to a commercial supplier again. Cheers. Thank you very much.